Welcome to this series of videos where I'm demonstrating how easily it is to do blended learning and how easily actually you can adapt your lessons to use digital tools and in a very engaging and motivating way for your students. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Genially. Genially is an application that is free. You need to log in, you need to open an account. There is a pro version of the app, but I don't think you do really need it to start with unless you're really passionate about it and you're going to use it over and over again. And there are a lot of different templates there. I tend to get all my templates, unless I'm doing a presentation, from the gamification section in Genially. And this is one of the templates that you can get on the La Flota battleships, basically. And this is how it comes, basically. So you get all these for already done and for free. And the only thing you need to do, basically what I did in this one is I added obviously my photograph, my own Bitmoji, and I also added this little element here, okay, that I get from an escape room, basically from escape tools. But actually you will have access, and you do have access to this template, and I'll show you later on in my own MFL Twitterati Padlet. Okay, so this is already embedded in my version, and the only thing you need to do is to change the wording basically from every single card. And this is basically how it works. The whole process took me about 10-15 minutes change all the words in there. The kids, what they had to do is to basically translate these sentences. And basically what they do is that they put the ships in there. They're working in pairs. Of course, you need to share the URL with your students. And basically before they take turns, and what they do is they click on suspense, the sentence comes up, and in this particular case the kids had to translate that to the opponent. I had a mixed ability group in this class with the 11, so what I said is that I go into some particular case and I said you I don't want you just to translate the sentence, I want you to push yourself, I want you to extend it and to say something else that you need to basically make up on the spot. And what they do is that they do that, obviously, and then they need to guess, basically, to create coordinates. Of course, they use in Spanish, de, cuatro, cinco, seis. And what they do is that they come then later here, and if they get the ship from the partner, what they do is that they just do basically where they hit it, they just mark down in this little other template where the ships are basically, and the person who manages to get all the ships, okay, and all the squares basically is the winner. Really simple version of that. As you can see, this is a translation, but I could have had here, instead of translation, verbs. I could have had here an infinitive and a person, and they had to translate to conjugate the verb. It could be questions and answers to speak, to practice oral. It could be, anything that you really want to practice. So this is an example of one of the things that you can do. I'm going to show you this one. This is another free template that you have in Genially. This is a snakes and ladders. I really like this one. In this particular case, I create everything is like that, basically from Genially, which is brilliant. And the only thing I will have to modify it is the information that is in these little dots. And I want to show you here, I did this with the year 13, how I can include in here exam. They can practice exam skills in a really nice gamified way. In this particular case, what I've done, for example, this is a listening from the past paper from the A-level exam, and they need, this is the one used for the summary, and they need to listen to it, and they need to basically to write a summary. And they can work in groups of 4. So the idea here is they work in group of 4. You share the URL. One person is the game master, so basically they just need a computer between 4 people. You could have this in group of 2s. I said 4 because I don't have many students in year 13 and year 12, sadly. This is the dice, so they tell you where they go, and where if they land in one of these little spots, okay, they need to do something. So the first one, for example, was to translate, was basically to do a summary from this video. Another one, for example, they have to do here, again, this is another summary one, so they need to translate it, they need to listen to it, and then what they have to do is to write a summary again here. In this one, another summary, so you can see there's a lot of listening activities they have to complete. This one, there is a quizzes that they need to do. Basically, in this particular one, there is a video because you can embed video. So basically, they need, it says here, you need to look at the video and explain to your partners in English how Juan Carlos succeeded Franco. So basically it's a little bit of summary again, but this one including a video. So you can see basically the scope. In here, I don't know, I guess there's a translation now from English into Spanish. And they would, if there is a translation, if there is something they need to write, they would write that in a piece of paper. This is a translation again from Spanish into English again. So you can get the idea. Instead of this little task that more elaborate, I could have used just like I did with the battleships, just something that pops up, they have to translate, something that pops up and they just basically to conjugate. Or I in here, instead of a video, could have been a learning apps, for example, activity they have to complete. Okay, I'll show you later how you do that. So that's really, really simple, really nice way of doing it. Let's do another one. This one actually is created for the talented Marie Alirot. She's got a lot of, she's created some of these things for free, so you won't find this in Genially in the templates, but I'll show you in a minute at the end. In my blog, I do have a link to my MFL Padlet, MFL Twitter at Padlet, where all these templates are available for you to use. And what they need to do here is basically, this is a wheel of names. You can see the app is flashing. I talked about wheel of names yesterday, but now I've integrated into Genially. Something comes up, the kids have to translate it. Whatever, and if the answer is correct, they are click on here and they click on there, and they're allowed basically a go and to place a counter, and then obviously scan it for the try to get for in the right order in any direction. Then is when it's basically be person turn. They will click, they will do basically the same thing, spin the wheel, and that's the game there. So I think this is a really nice game to do in the classroom, especially now that you can use both physical board games. Basically that is deleted, etc. So that's one basically that you can use as well. I want to show you as well how you can, I will show you later as well, okay, how to put it with the wheel of names. This is the same thing, but this is what you need to do now. What the kids do, they have my surprises there, and everything of that will come up is with a Quizlet, and what they need to do is in a very, very simple way, is just can you translate that, and in fact you can say in every go what you need to do is to translate 3, and this is taken from the Quizlets and they just translate it. Obviously that's really easy. So if I had a very, depending on how I wanted to do it, if I got a more mixed ability, high ability group, what I would tell them is, okay, you need to translate it and then you need to put that into a sentence. And by the way, if you just right, they would say if it's right or wrong. So basically they just testing each other. There are 3 different gifts or parcels because there are 3 different Quizlets from 3 different mini topics within the topic of free time. So I would recommend it because that's another one. It has an important message, so it helps me to relax. Okay, this is about films, and this is basically how what we're doing. You got the rules here. They're working in pairs. Another really nice way activity. And I'm going to show you this one as well. This one is Blockbusters. That's another one that I will tell you how to find. This is created as well by the lovely Marie Alirot. This one, so you won't find it in the templates from Genially. And basically the same thing. This we did it with the year 13s, and basically they were playing in teams. They had to answer ¿Qué hizo Franco después de la guerra? So these are very high sophisticated answers that basically that they have to give. So you can see basically the whole range, how you can do something from translation, how can you do something with your 13 with exam skills, oral activities, to just like the Quizlet, which you just practice the vocabulary, so it's great for retrieval practice and very good, very, very, very easy. So this is basically the tutorial. I'm just going to show you. If you want to find these templates, you come to, this is my my blog. And if when you come to my blog, rather than going to the post, you go to the MFL Twitterati Padlet. If you come here in the Twitterati, there are a lot of lovely resources here, and there's something called IT tools to other games. You come to other games, you go I put all the templates here, basically the ones that are no original from Genially, things like the battle. Even though I put the battleships, okay, but you can go to the Genially, and there's some templates already in Genially that you just use, or you can come here, because some of them are original, as I said, from Marie Alirot, so that you can find them in Genially. So you go here, the battleships one, so you just click on it and just make a copy. You do have here another one I haven't shown, but it's a Monopoly game as well. You do have here a trapdoor for a game from lovely Marie Alirot. I cannot say how grateful I am to her, because she's so talented in creating this. A Pac-Man board game as well, a Genially board game, the one I just showed you. Sorry, this is Deck Toys, which is not Genially. A Tetris board game as well with Genially. The Blockbusters game as well. So you can notes and crosses, so you can see how many you got. It's another Pac-Man here. There are loads, about 6, 7. So what I try to do is this. I don't use this all the time, but I try every time I want to practice oral activities, I try to make it communicative. I just don't want it just to practice this for the sake of doing it. I try to do it with a game. So the kids have got, or in my classroom, I do have the vocabulary and the expressions they would use when they're playing the game, like you've won, you've lost. And it's lovely to hear them speaking real Spanish while they interacted with the game, and they get really used to doing that. If you continue and persevere with the thing that you need to use Spanish, you need to use Spanish, but at the same time they're practicing the language, either from translations. It could be grammar, it could be a spontaneous language with questions. I think is absolutely brilliant. And I just want to show you, I know that it's supposed to be just 10 minutes, we already got into 11 minutes, how I inserted things like, for example, the Quizlet or the learning the wheel of names. So what I've done with the wheel of names, if I come here, well, actually, I'm going, okay, so I go to my creations, and I thought that was the 9. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically this is what it looks like. Once you make a copy, you can edit it. And show you how you do the wheel of names, because it's so easy, so easily you don't need to use escape tools or anything complicated. The game is already there, the template, you saw what it is in my blog. And what you do is you come to first you create your wheel of names, and the wheel of names will give you an URL. So for example, let's try to go, I should have had this ready, sorry about that. Okay, so I do have my wheel of names. Say, for example, I want this one, and I'm going to share it. Okay, so I created already. Whatever I want to add in it, I copy my link. Now I come to Iframe Generator, and what I do is that I place that in there, and I can have a preview, because what it will do is will create basically a code for me to embed, an iframe code that then I can copy and paste into Genially. I think you get the idea. So this is my preview. Okay, so this is what it will look. It would look like. Okay, so if I'm still thinking, basically, if I want it to be longer, say for example, I thought, okay, I'm gonna make it. You can change that. So I'm gonna put it 1000, for example. You can have my preview, and that now should. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger if I want to. It's really up to you how you want to do it. And once you are happy, so I'm gonna put it again. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna put and leave that to 600. The height, I think that is what I needed longer. That's it, because now I can see the whole wheel. You can see where I was doing. So height and width. You do the preview. You do like it. Then you generate. Then you copy it. What you do afterwards is that I'm in the editing thing. At the moment, I'm gonna get rid of that one. And what you need to do is you go to insert and okay, so let me see. If I come to insert, I come to this little thing that comes, can you see, which says others. You click on it, you paste it, okay, and that is the code, and now you insert it, and there, voila, you do have now your wheel of names. What I do now is I can make it, obviously, this is going really slow because I am recording myself, so you can make it like that. you can have it, that one, it's got the black background because that's the way it is. And then what you do is that before to see that you're happy, you go to the preview. This is what your game would look like. You see basically how long it took me. Then you can try, you can see it works, and that's it. And you just save it. That's everything you need to. The thing is amazing. Sorry, I get very excited with this because this is up smashing. And what you're doing is that you can use the wheel of name on its own as we did before, but you can also use it like this. Okay, so that's basically how it is. I'm going to show you as well how you can insert as well a Quizlet, for example. So if I come here again to my creations, right, and I think it was the year 11, and I do have, no, sorry, it's not the, sorry, it wasn't the year 10. My creations, year 10, and with the year 10, that's the one I'm going to be using because I'm going to mess it up probably. This is basically how it works then. This is a template. You get the template, as you say, either from Genially, you get the template from my website, from the Padlet, and what you do is here, this is basically a picture. A picture basically from a Bitmoji, it could be whatever you want to. And what you do here, when you come to the picture, you click on that little element, okay? And this is what you have. You can add in. This is what you do basically. If you in the snake and ladders, those little dots, they're called elements, and every element you can open it and you can insert things. You can write things. You can, basically in text, you can add a question. You can put a video in it, like you saw the video from Franco, or you can embed it, which is basically what I have here. So what do you do is I'm gonna get rid of this to show you basically how this. You can also have a tooltip. You can have basically a window, which I think is better. Okay, so can you see this is my the thing there that it was there. I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to my Quizlet I created. Remember that everything, all my sentence builders, everything I created into Quizlets, which I do have here. Okay, so I do have all my things there, all my little folders. And imagine it's about I want the kids to practice this vocabulary. So what I do to do that is that this is my normal Quizlet I would do, the students would use to learn the vocab. If I go down and I go now to the three dots, I do have the option of embed. And what I do now is that I can choose what kind of activity I want to embed. Normally, I like the flashcards because the flashcards allows the students to question each other and they can see straight away if it's right or wrong and allows them to then to translate it. Extend it. It could be anything that you want. You can do a lot with it rather than just matching it. The matching is really simple or just learn it. So I always like the flashcards. And then I copy it. And when I come back to my Genially and I now I basically paste it. I say save. And hopefully, if I go now to my one there, I think it was this one, when it comes up there, that is my Quizlet basically. So the kids now can question each other. They can translate it, but as I said, it could be extend your answers, do something with it. So you can see how easily it is done. Remember all the elements in Genially, for anything from everything that is there is called an element, including a picture. You always got a little hand, and with a little hand it means that you can basically make a link that when you click on the picture something happens. So it could be something that the students, it could be something like that you just basically say, okay. It could be something that you insert. It could be as well a particular video. It could be absolutely anything you want to add in there. Basically, you can put a video URL from YouTube. So you can basically how versatile and how easy it is. And what you have there is from a Quizlet, from 3 Quizlets, you do have an activity and already done. So this is basically what I called a more yes, it's up smashing at its best. And remember that all those templates, some of them are in Genially because they're part of Genially. You will find them for free. But other ones, the ones that the lovely Maria Liraud has created, are actually she has created them very, very generously. I'm so grateful to her. You will find them in here. So this is a really nice way how to use Genially for board games. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you'll find it useful somehow.